I have a few more details I want to show you guys from the shooting that happened in Colorado Springs. Of course, the LGBTQ nightclub, Club Q, where a man went in with an AR style weapon, AR-15 style, and shot many people, 30, 25 injured, and 5 dead. And one of the details that came out of this was the fact that just random patrons there, normal citizens, intervened, tackled the guy, and prevented him from doing so much more damage. So that's the first thing I want to look at with you. Here's one of the guys who kind of led the charge at this gunman and, brought him down.
Guy was there, and I saw the ACU pattern flak vest. And for me, that was like, there's a handle, I'm getting it. So I ran across the room, grabbed the handle, pulled him down, and then started to, I think I went for his gun with him. His rifle flew in front of him. And the young man that tried to jump in there with me, we both either pulled him down or whatever, but he ended up at his head and right next to the AR. And then with the AR, I told him, push the AR, get the AR away from him. The kid pushed the AR. I don't know what his name was. And then I proceeded to take his other weapon, the pistol, and then just start hitting him where I could, but the armor's in the way. And I found a crease between his armor and his head, and I just started wailing away with his gun. And then I told the kid in front of me, kick him, keep kicking him. And I was guiding him. I was telling people, call 911, call 911. I brought him down. I was in mode. I was doing what I do downrange. I trained for this. I don't want to ever do this. I didn't even retire because I was done doing this stuff. It was too much, and it came in handy, and I got to protect my kid. I lost my kid's boyfriend. I tried for everybody in there. I still feel bad that there's 5 people. There's 5 people that didn't come home. And this guy, I told him while I was hitting him, I said, I'm going to kill you, man, because you tried to kill my friends. My family was in there. My little girl was in there with her.
We are so sorry.
We'll stop it there. But you absolutely understand that response. I mean, while yes, he prevented further loss of life, he watched before that moment as many people already were killed. And it's horrible, but incredibly brave from his perspective that he did that, jumped in, and saved people. So here's a little bit more about different individuals who survived this, talking about their experience being at the club, but surviving.
This guy, the look on his face was full of hate. It was complete hatred.
It seemed like he was firing from his waist. But it happened so fast. I didn't really grasp it, what was going on, until I got shot in the leg.
I took off running to the back, and I got shot. I knew I got shot a few times. I fell down. He proceeded to shoot me. I got back up. I made it out of the back of the club. I got my phone, and I called my dad because me and my dad are like best friends. It's really, really great, weird relationship. And he's always stood by me through thick and thin. And that was the last person that I wanted to talk to.
We'll stop that one there, but imagine that, having to make the decision of, I want to call someone because this is the last voice I'll ever hear and the last person I ever want to hear my voice. And luckily he did survive, but that was what was going through his head, and many people didn't make it through like him. Before we move on to the last element that I want to look at from this, I do just want to say it has to be continually reminded that this is because of the hateful disease we have in our country towards LGBTQ people that is nonstop nonstop perpetuated by too many in specific groups. Of course, we talk about politically in the right wing, it runs rampant. In too many churches, it runs rampant, and it has to be called out because this is what it leads to. Last element here that I want to talk about is Colorado did somewhat recently pass red flag laws, but it seems to be the case that it wasn't implemented either by law enforcement or maybe the family members involved, but it seems to be the case that law enforcement kind of dropped the ball on this, but we'll wait until more investigation is done to say for certain, because he should have been subject to having his gun taken away and his ability to get guns taken away.
I mean, the key is we are seeing the LGBTQ community paying with their lives for all the hate and bigotry we're seeing everywhere, especially on the social media. And so things like the red flag laws are efforts to try and bring the community together, the country together, to say, all right, what are things we can do to try and make this a safer environment? And obviously, the implementation was not perfect in this circumstance. Far less than perfect. It was a failure by any measure. But it doesn't mean we don't have to continue to try and let's put the politics aside and figure out how we can make our country safer.
Yes, and this is Democratic Senator John Hickenlooper, by the way, from Colorado, talking about that. And it definitely is the case where this highlights again how we need to have better systems in place to prevent people from getting guns, because this guy did get the gun legally. And it's one of those things where anytime you talk about legislation relating to regulating guns, people say, well, criminals won't care about the law. Well, if you make it more difficult, number one, for them to get it legally, a lot of them aren't these mastermind criminals. They're just unhinged people with hate in their heart. And so they just wouldn't know how to get that mass weapon of war that's designed to kill as many people as possible. And it would prevent which weapon they're able to get. In this case, he wouldn't have been able to get legally the gun that he got. So hopefully as the investigation goes on, we see what went wrong there as far as the red flag law and how that can be improved, but then also just incredibly heartbreaking as you learn more about the individuals affected by this and how, again, the hate that caused this is so prevalent. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to be a part of what makes this show possible, plus get access to the full video version of the show hours before any of the clips are uploaded to YouTube, plus get access to an extra full show every Saturday that only members can see, you can do so by going to patreon.com/Luke Beasley. That's patreon.com/Luke Beasley, and there is a link in the description.